Welcome back, folks. Sheepdog Smokey here, and I hope you're having a productive week so far. We are into week 3 of working from home, self-quarantine, shelter-in-place, whatever you want to call it. And we're seeing more of the same every day from anyone and everyone who is on the left politically. Before we begin, please remember to subscribe, turn on notifications so that you're part of the notification squad, know when everything posts, and so you're part of the giveaway at 500, 1,000, and 1,500 subscribers. All that said, let's go on and dive right in. The swan song, or the main tune from the left since mid-January, has just been nothing but Trump is responsible for everything bad in the world. It went from racism and sexism and whatever else, to now coronavirus. You see, they've all forgotten that in January they were all referring to this as the Wuhan or Chinese coronavirus. That is not racist. That is not a race. That is a geographic location. If a virus originated in, I don't know, let's just say a virus originates in Rifle City, Colorado, it would be the Rifle City or Colorado or United States virus. Coronavirus is also a wide range of viruses. COVID-19 is a strain of coronavirus. And it is acting very differently to viruses that have been seen in the past. We look at something like rhinovirus, the common cold, influenza, things like that. What is being ignored is that when all of these things first made an appearance in society, doctors did not know how to treat them. There were no tests. There were no approved treatments. There were no vaccines. There were no flu shots. Those things had to be developed as they fought the virus that had just emerged onto the planet. We've not had something like this in over 10 years. And the last one we had, was H1N1, swine flu, in 2009. Barack Obama did not focus on it personally. He had other people working on it. Governors worked on it. FEMA worked on it. FDA worked on it. CDC worked on it. A lot of people. Barack Obama went golfing. Barack Obama went and talked to groups outside of Washington, D.C. I never, ever suggested that Barack Obama should not have golfed while something happened. Now, he did famously go golf a lot on his own and a lot with other people. What I've said before is that for people in power, golf or other activities that are seen as recreation are used in negotiation, in business. I worked for a 5-star hotel in North Fort Worth many years ago. We had a Greg Norman designed 18-hole golf course attached to our hotel. We saw more business from local people who never would stay at our hotel, bringing people out to our golf course and to eat in our restaurant. I talked to the pro regularly as concierge for the hotel to book tea times and to book appointments with him to have someone handicapped and so on and so on. And he told me there were a lot of business leaders from Dallas and Fort Worth and other not so far away areas that would come to golf while they were negotiating with someone. We had people from out of state that stayed in our hotel that would use our golf course for recreation or for other things. So, no, I'm not going to complain that the President of the United States, whoever he is, plays golf. It's stupid. It honestly is. If you use golf as a negotiating or other business tool, you must be able to play golf. In order to be able to play golf, you must go play golf regularly. Donald Trump happens to own several golf courses. If you in any way think that he pays a cent for anything that he gets or uses or eats on that course or at that hotel, you're an idiot. If someone owns a hotel, then the business of the hotel pays for everything while the owner is there, because the owner is not billed for their own products. My parents owned a photography studio. If If my dad needed film, he went and got it off the shelf at the mini lab where we would be processing pictures for people and used it. If you own the business, you own everything. But none of that comes into play anymore. During H1N1, governors, mayors, and other state and local officials did the same thing governors and mayors and other local officials are doing now. They would coordinate for their area. Now, of course, in 2009, the liberal media had someone in the office that they loved. So no governor was ever told, you're not doing your job, when it was a red state governor. And the president was never told, you should be taking over for these states. In fact, it was quite the opposite. If anything didn't work on a state level, people were reminded the governors are in charge. Now, 2020, with COVID-19, when Governor Cuomo finally admits that there was a stockpile of respirators that were never sent to hospitals in New York. People don't ask, well, Governor Cuomo, why not? They flip out and demand that President Trump be removed because he didn't find them and take them by force and distribute them personally to hospitals. I've made this comment before. Any governor who is complaining that President Trump is not doing enough needs to resign their position, disband their state legislature and court system, and cede 100% power to run that state to the federal government. Basically, renounce statehood and become just a federal territory run by the federal government. None of them will do that. None of them will ever do anything close because they covet power. And when they are shown to have not done what they should be doing, they blame others. It is moronic, it is stupid, and it should be pointed out every time. If Governor Abbott, I'm a Texan, I love Governor Abbott, he is doing a phenomenal job as governor. But if we found out there was a stockpile of respirators in San Antonio that had never been delivered to hospitals in San Antonio, Austin, Houston, or wherever else needed them, and Governor Abbott complained that President Trump didn't do enough, I would be leading the charge, telling him that it was his job to do that. Because it is. You see, while we do have the Supremacy Clause, which states that federal law trumps state law, states' rights is still a thing. States are governed at the state level by the governor. The federal government and federal law is there to ensure that across the country, citizens of the United States are not treated differently because they are not a resident of the state. That is basically what the myth of the sovereign citizen is. They say, I'm a sovereign citizen, I'm a sovereign citizen. Your laws don't apply to me. Wrong. All sovereign citizen really comes from is a statute saying that California cannot have one set of laws for California residents and another set of laws for American citizens who live in other states. For example, they can't say that a California citizen pays 8.25% sales tax, but when you visit the state, you pay 15% sales tax. They can't say that speeding is a ticket and a fine for California residents and jail time for out-of-state residents. That is what the sovereign citizen myth is built off of. People think, well, that means that California has to respect all of my state's laws when it comes to me. Wrong. It means that California can't say, oh, you live in Texas? Well, the laws are different for you than people who live here. They can't do that. That's what it means, and that's the biggest part of the federal government, is ensuring that as a country we run smoothly, that we have a United States military to protect the country, that interstate highways and other things that are not 100% within a state are covered and run. It is not in any way the responsibility of the president to walk into New York or Washington or Texas or Oklahoma and bark at the governor, move aside, I'm going to run this stuff. The governor has to request federal aid. Believe it was Governor Whitmer, that the same one who has banned the use of hydroxychloroquine, which many medical doctors are now saying more and more that it is producing good results. That's not saying it's the perfect drug. That's saying we're testing it and we're trying it, and it is looking good. Governor Whitmer had not requested federal aid. It got to a point where the federal government was able to say, we're just going to send this. After that happened, she requested federal aid and then cried that it didn't get there faster. If you and I live next door to each other and my grass is growing out of control because I have a broken leg and I can't get out and mow, but I don't ask for anyone to help, and it finally gets to a point where the city comes out and mows it, and then after they order somebody to do that, I hear about the order. It hadn't been done, but I hear about it. I finally ask for help, and then when it gets done because the city ordered it, I say, well, why didn't you do this sooner? The city's going to look at me and say, you didn't ask for it. We had to wait for it to break city code by its height before we could act. Had you asked, we would have helped a lot sooner. Very simple example, but very much true and the same. Until the governor asks for help, the federal government is really kind of tied up. We saw it with Mayor Nagin during Katrina. Didn't use buses that were sitting in a lot that ultimately flooded for any of the evacuation efforts. Didn't do a lot of things that he should have done, Mayor Nagin. The governor at the time didn't do anything either. Then Nagin jumps up on a soapbox and starts ranting that George W. Bush is racist because George W. Bush didn't seize all power over over Louisiana and run his city for him and then slink away so Nagin could take all the credit. We're seeing it now with New Orleans, with people complaining that Donald Trump didn't issue a federal order to ban Mardi Gras, when that should have been the New Orleans mayor and the Louisiana governor saying, no, we're not going to have Mardi Gras when there is a viral outbreak. It's very simple. These idiots like Whitmer, Waters, Pelosi, Schumer, and the rest are using this and lying in the process to demand President Trump be removed because he will not violate federal law and the Constitution to seize power over states and run them for the governors. Until Newsom or Cuomo or Abbott or Whitmer or Inslee or any of the others ask for federal help, the president cannot just send people in. Okay? It's a fine line. You know, New York City hospitals are straining. It's not the war zone the media will tell you. They've already had to admit, I believe it was CBS, might have been another, but they've already had to admit that they mistakenly used video from Italy to say that New York hospitals were a war zone. Well, even without that being true, the strain on them, President Trump ordered the USNS hospital ship Comfort to dock right outside of New York City, and help. Even that takes a certain amount of time and certain things happening. So I'm just more upset each time I see crap like this all over the news. I'm very grateful for the Navy for having these hospital ships, one off the coast of California, one off the coast of New York, that can be dispatched like they have been to help in situations like this. The hospital ship Comfort, I believe it was Comfort, was sent to Puerto Rico after the hurricane. So while Mayor Carmen Yulin Ruiz was complaining that no aid had been sent, as there are pallets of it behind her on video, and as the hospital ship is steaming its way there and then there and helping, Democrats demand Trump be removed because he didn't stop the hurricane. That didn't work. Russia didn't work. Stormy didn't work. Now they're saying that President Trump didn't act fast enough with coronavirus. Well, China lied about it for at least a full month, if not more. When they finally could not gag and silence medical workers, and it finally got out that no, this was not an isolated incident in Wuhan, and we finally knew it had happened, it was January 20th. 11 days later, Donald Trump blocked all travel to and from China, save for United States citizens and permanent residents. And anyone who did travel to was quarantined when they got back. Second he did that, you're racist. Early March, Governor Cuomo was telling people, go see movies. Now he's telling them that they'll be all but arrested if they set foot outside their home. Governor Blackface Northam is saying the same thing in Virginia. Florida is arresting pastors who, while very misled, are holding large gatherings for church services. I said it in a previous video. Most churches are doing services over the web. Their pastor is delivering the messages over the web and so on. But you can't arrest people for being idiots. If so, that beach in Florida with all the people, if I get it, I get it. I'm not worried about it. I've been planning this trip for months. I just turned 21 and all the bars are closed. This is crap. All those idiots would have been in a Florida jail if you could jail people for being morons. A number of them are now positive tested for COVID-19 because they were too stupid to realize, oh, don't go to a spring break and party in a large group during a viral outbreak. I honestly don't know what it's going to take for the world to wake up and see that these idiots in power are using this crisis to demand they be handed 100% power over the country with no restrictions to subjugate us under an iron boot. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I will die on my feet before I live on my knees. Patrick Henry said it perfectly. Give me liberty or give me death. And the day that the federal government shows up at my door saying, surrender your guns, we're going to lock you in this house because it's not safe, that's the day I get shot. It's plain and simple. The Constitution was written to prevent crap like this. You can give advisories. You can tell people it's not safe. And you can implore them to stay home as much as possible and social distance to flatten the curve. And the vast, vast majority of people will do it. I haven't left my home except for today in 4 days. And about once a week, I go for groceries. And normally on that same trip, I will pick up dinner and not cook because I do want to support local restaurants. I got an email from CC's Pizza today about a $5 large pizza. I went and got pizza instead of cooking a grilled cheese tonight. I will eat at home the rest of the week. I will eat my food that I've got. End of the week, I will go and I will pick up groceries. And then I'm back home. I'm the grocery runner because I don't mess around. I get in, get the stuff I need, and I get out. That's it. I don't want to be around people right now. I really don't like people in general, in crowds, but especially now. So most people are doing that. They're getting out, going to the store, picking up supplies for a week to 10 days, going home, and staying home. I'm very blessed that I'm able to work from home so that I don't have to get out every morning and go in. I don't know that my company would be deemed essential if we hadn't had this ability. I'm just very grateful we do. But this bull of blaming the president when a governor fails to do his job, and this bull of telling people we will arrest you for leaving your home needs to stop. Northam, Inslee, Cuomo, Newsom, anyone else who says if you leave your home on anything we deem non-essential, you're going to be fined and jailed, should be removed from office. New York is releasing convicted pedophiles and sex offenders from jail or from holding after being arrested, citing the coronavirus. But you'll be arrested if you leave your house, while Mad Maxine and Nutty Nancy and Crying Chuck blame Trump for everything bad happening in the world. And they wonder why I call them by those names and why I call the media fake news. I've ranted and talked long enough. Let me know what you think. As always, please remain civil in the comments. We can get passionate. We can defend our position without resorting to toddler-style insults and such. As always, please remember to like the video and share the video so that we can expand the conversation. And remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're aware of all new content as it posts. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, and have a wonderful day.